Yes, please.
What's up? What's good, everyone? And good morning. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Thank you very much for joining us on this live today. If you can hear me, let me see that in the comment section. You can hear me. Once again, I'm coming to you this morning from Kumasi. I love Kumasi. I live in Kumasi. So shout me out in the comment section where you are joining us from. And today we are pumped up. We are discussing multiple streams of income, tips and tools on generating extra income, passive income for yourself. Listen, it is very, very important for us to understand that with the current state of the world, with the current state of affairs, you can never survive on just one income. It is not possible. There's no way you can survive on just one income. That is why it is so important. No matter what you do, you might be a business person, you might be a career person, you might be a work from home, whatever. It is important to consider multiple streams of income. Even in your business, you can consider having other sources of income rather than the just one channel or one source. And that's what we are discussing today. And I'm pumped up. And we have Boss Bright here. We have Bright joining us today. And Bright, good morning. And thank you very much for joining us on the executive breakfast meeting, building a formidable lifestyle and livelihood. So Bright, just introduce yourself briefly. I don't know whether it's me, but I'm not sure we can hear you, Brian. Yes.
Hello, Mark. I believe you can hear.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Yes. So good morning once again. I think it's an opportunity for us to connect. And then I'm glad to be with Build with Mark today. Today is going to be an exciting session. My name is Bright Owusu. I'm going to be your facilitator for today. And I believe at the end of the session, we are all going to be very excited by the few things we are going to learn. It's going to be very practical. I'm going to share some basic things I've done, and then some things you can also do way forward, the lessons I've picked from it. And I believe that if we all put these things together, we all will be multimillionaires in the nearest future. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much. It's exciting having you, Bright. I've known Bright for quite some time, and his experiences, lessons he has picked up, teams he has built. He's been part of several teams. He's been part of recruitment processes. He's been part of marketing processes. He's been part of product services. He's been part of a lot of things. And today there are so many lessons we are going to pick from him. It is 13 past 10. And without further ado, I want us to zoom in straight to the training. But here's what I want you to do for us. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, I want you to quickly subscribe to the channel. But click the share button and send this feed to your Facebook wall, send this feed to your WhatsApp status, send this, invite as many people as possible. What we are going to do today is to discuss opportunities that are available. There are so many opportunities available for us to consider. No matter your level, no matter your state, no matter what you do, so many opportunities. Opportunities do abound. And there are one or two of them you could consider. There are one or two of them you could check out. So just send this feed, send this link to somebody, and let the person also connect in, lock in, and benefit from this training. So, Boss Bright, take it away.
Hello, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yes, Boss Bright. So we are ready for you. Yes, we can hear you.
Great. So, good morning once again, and then good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are connecting to us, where you are connecting from. I'll share something small about myself, and then I think in the process we'll get to learn. We'll get to the main topic. The main topic is in my story. Okay, so my name is Bright Owusu, and then I've actually lived all my life here in Kumasi. Okay. I'll start, since this is a business session, I'll start by telling you some of the businesses I've done. Okay, so I think I did my first business when I was in class 4. Somebody asked, what business did you do in class 4? I remember very clearly when I was in class 5, and in class 5, I was somebody who loved football. So I went together some of the class 4 people, class 3 people, the guys, and I told them that I'm forming a team. So a class 5 student trying to form a team. I gathered a couple of them. We did some contribution. We purchased some football. And that was my first business I started. That was my first company I owned. But unfortunately, I lost this company to my seniors because they thought, they questioned why I have actually been able to make people bring some money for us to buy the football and other stuff. So that was my first business. I don't know how the idea came, but I believe that any businessman who starts a business most of the times have a passion or has a passion for that thing. So I think my passion for football at that early age pushed me to become let me say in quote a football owner, which I own not more than one term in school. My next business opportunity that I worked on was when I was in JSS, before it became JHS, it was JSS. So I remember clearly in JSS 2, during that time, my dad was a tutor in one of the senior high schools in Ghana. And then my second business I did was to sell network credits, network cards to students. And also the other thing I did was to do what we call space to space. At that time, when you do 1 minute call, and even if it passes by a second, I run it up to 2 minutes. That was my second business I did. And I remember at that time, I could clearly buy credit for maybe 70,000 because that was the old currency. And then I'll have my books. Any call you make, I record. And by the time I'm done with my 70,000 credit or 50,000 credit, that is old currency. by that time I would have had double of it. So I became excited about business at that young age. From that level, I moved on to senior high school, where I went to Kumasi High School. At that time, I was a boarder there, and as a boarder, I couldn't do anything. The focus was on my books at that time. Then fast forward to tertiary, I went to KNUST, and at tertiary, it was during that era that the Dumsor became very prominent in Ghana. That was between 2012, 13, 14, thereabout. So during that time too, I had my elder brother in China medical school there, and then he brought up a business idea. Why don't we start selling power banks? Okay, so during that era whereby there was a crisis, I was in partnership with my big brother, and then we were bringing in power banks, and I was moving from hall to hall with a few friends I get it for myself, close allies, and then we were able to make some sales. Then along the line, I was very active with campus ministry too. I was in the music ministry, and I realized that, well, most people have issues with their earpiece. When they come for rehearsals, it's either they have left it in their hostels or they don't have it at all. So my big brother happened to bring earpiece too, and then I decided to make sales to some of the choir members and some colleagues in my classroom thereabout, and then I added scientific calculators to it. I'm sharing all this to you for us to understand one thing. I was a student at that time. My parents were taking care of me, but when I spotted an opportunity, I found out a way to make something extra. And I remember during that time, I received money. My money was given to me on a weekly basis. But there were certain weeks whereby the money was not coming, or whereby I request for the money, they will say, oh, hold on for a little. But I wasn't that desperate. I didn't become desperate. Why? Because during that time, I was running this small thing on the side, and that was keeping me. Okay. At the same time, I had other colleagues who were students, just like myself. But these people realized that though they were too busy, they have to focus on their course. I read statistics in KNUST. So most people felt, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And we all focused. At the end of the day, we all graduated. But what did I have in addition? I was able to gather some experiences. from the basic things. I did the basic selling. I did along the way. And I believe it all started from the football to the credit business, whereby I realized I could make profit, to tertiary, whereby I realized I could make sales and I could make some good income. So along the line, I realized that if nothing changes hands, it's going to be very difficult for money to come into the hands of one person. So I was very comfortable doing the sales business on campus. Fast forward, I completed tertiary, and then I happened to do my national service at DVLA. Now, this is where they changed the whole things. The story changed when I got my national service posting to DVLA. I decided that, well, why don't I work so hard, so that after national service I get employed there. That was my mindset. Okay, so I gave in my all. Okay, when I started work, I was giving my all there. Okay. I'll be at work very early. I'll be the last person to leave. Because at the end of the day, I have to ensure that all the registration that have gone, I've been able to put down the statistics of it, the number of cars we registered, the number of motorbikes that were registered, all these things before I submit it to the regional manager. So I ensured that I was doing things so that they will know that, well, the guy, he's good, but also he's diligent and hardworking. So my expectation was after service, they will give me employment there. Along the line, that was somewhere in July 2nd, 2017. July 2nd, 2017. I had a message from my boss at my workplace. He's called Mr. Alessa Siema. I had a message from him, and then he told me that, well, he has seen an opportunity he wants me to go and have a look at. Well, so I should make time and go and see it. But before that, I had a couple of friends who were telling me whether there are some business opportunities I have to have a look at. Where I always tell them I was busy. I don't know what I was doing, but when I closed from work around after doing everything by 5, I'm almost home. I felt like I've worked the whole day, so I'm tired. And when I get home, I'm tired because I've put that at the back of my mind. It's either I pick my game pad to play football, soccer, or I start chatting with some few friends, or I watch movies and stuff. And I thought I was tired, so I was relaxing. But when my boss invited me to have a look at this opportunity, where I told myself that, well, because he's my boss, let me just show up and then please him. Because if your boss invites you and don't go, it's more like you don't respect your boss or something. So I showed up there. Interestingly enough, when I went there, I looked at the opportunity they were presenting. I was somebody throughout my tertiary time. I never heard of that opportunity. I never heard of any opportunity about, in quote, network marketing or any of those stuff. I didn't know anything about that stuff. But when I went there and I looked at the caliber of people who were there, I went there, I saw doctors, I saw nurses, I saw engineers, and I saw fellow students who were in tertiary. I saw fellow NSS personnel. And they have also, some of them has closed from work, that packed their cars, and they were doing a side business. So I asked myself, these are people most of us aim to be. Like, most of us aim to be doctors. Most of us aim to be accountants, top executives in the places you are working. And me per se, I wanted to work at DVLA, and the boss that I'm looking up to is building a part-time business. So I told myself that if not for anything, because my boss is doing a part-time business, let me just put in my foot and then see what is in there for me. I'm building all these points so that I get to know that for you to become an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily have to have it in your gene. Somebody might inspire you. I got inspiration from these people, and I started my first serious business. I'm saying my first serious business because this is the first time I was taking my own money to pay for something to say I'm starting a business. I started this business that very month of July 2017. And when I got there, that was where the game changed. I within my first year, I built up so much intelligence when it comes to business, because I had access to free training. I had access to personal development. I had access to people who have made some mistakes in entrepreneurship, and they were willing to share with me. I had people who were doing other businesses aside where I found myself, and they were willing to share their stories and their successes and their failures with me. So it shaped me up. It really shaped me up. It really shaped me up. Within few months, in where I found myself, the network marketing business, I found myself, which happened to be the first business I did. And then I think in our part of the world, when people hear about network marketing, we become kind of shaky, or we have some mindset. But when I got there, where I was not looking at anything, I was looking at the opportunity that presented to me. If there are people to teach me, if there's a way I can learn and become better, I was willing to take it. And within my first 3 months within the company, I was making same way allowances that was being paid to me as an NSS personnel, 559. So I asked myself, well, if I can make same income that I'm being paid by the government, 559, as a service personnel from a part-time business, which I happen to do after I close from work, then I have to read more into that. And that was when I got exposed to what we call passive income. Passive income. Now, somebody might ask, what is passive income? When we talk about passive income, it is a form of income where you have built a system, and then that system is paying you over time, whereby you don't necessarily have to put in so much effort personally. But beginning, because it's a system, you have to build. And once you build a system, the system generates income for you. So when I put in, within my first 3 months, I was excited, and I pushed in my maximum effort. I was fortunate to have great mentors who have been in the industry for some time. And I'm glad to know that some of these mentors have shared their stories and have shared lessons with us on Build with Mark channel. So I think you can go through the videos Mark have uploaded, and you'll find one of my mentors, the Dr. Kelvin Owusu. She shares so much insight on the industry with me. And at the end of the day, as I was saying, I've made almost my NSS income. So I became very serious. Now, my mindset was moving from trying to stay at DVLA after my service to how I can be a businessman. How I can be a businessman. Now, I wanted to be a proper businessman. So I happened to get in touch with people like Dr. Kelvin, and he also inspired me very much. Why? Because this is a medical doctor who at the age of, I think, 34, 35, he had already put down some systems that were paying him. And at the same time, he has side gigs with media houses, such as City TV, whereby every Tuesday he was on there to share health tips with the whole nation. He was being paid on that. And at the same time, he was owning a yam processing factory or business, Legacy Yam Chips, a medical doctor. And at the same time, he's into fish farming. So I asked myself, a medical doctor, how is he able to do all these things at the same time? Because I had other medical students who were hoping to graduate to become medical doctors, and I had a few medical doctors who are friends, and all they were doing was what we call locum. After work or after their work, it's either they're moving from one facility to the same facility, and what they were doing, they have to go there and work there again before they were paid. Now, do you know the difference? The difference between what they were doing and what Dr. Kevin was doing is that Dr. Kevin has built a system. He started building the food processing company. He had people who were working there for him. He had to spend few hours or few minutes with CTFM. He's making some good income. He has built systems virtually. But the other people, if they're not there, they're not making income. So we have what we call the direct income system. Direct income system is whereby if the carpenter is not hitting something on the chair or is not fixing something, he's not eating. If the teacher is not going to teach, his salary is not going to come. If that woman who is owning that small shop, if he's not there personally and he closes his shop, he's not going to make money. But I wanted a system whereby I can also build something and I don't literally have to be there, but I have to focus in my early stages, build the system, and later on I can make money, just like the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and the rest are doing with Amazon, Jack Ma, they're doing with their companies. Why? Because they have built systems. So as I was saying, I did not have to go to China to be inspired by Jack Ma. I did not have to travel to US to be inspired by Jack Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg. But I looked at these people that were exposed to me. Sorry. I look at these people that were exposed to me, and these people really inspired me. So if you really want to go into passive income, if you really want to build businesses, if you really want to have multiple streams of income, you really need to find people who inspire you, who can share the real truth with you. That's why it's very important to have mentors. It's very, very important to have mentors. Secondly, our advice that if you really want to go into multiple streams of income, you really need to start one particular business, or you really have to have a good paying job, or have a business that will bring in income to you. Sometimes, because we have heard about multiple streams of income, we are always quick to start a business. We are always quick to start one business and add another business and add another business and add another business, and all in the name of multiple streams of income. And when these things happen, sometimes we don't have the financial muscles, or we don't have the mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset. We haven't developed enough toughness in our mind to face the negativity around the entrepreneurial world. Because I can boldly tell you that in the entrepreneurial world, there's so much negativity. So you need to build yourself up. And that's why I was fortunate enough that my first venture I entered, I had a chance to meet great mentors. I had a chance to be exposed to motivational speakers, which are a way to build ourselves up mentally. So if you happen to be on the call, I recommend a few motivational people you need to follow. We have the likes of Les Brown. We have the likes of Jim Rohn. We have the likes of Tony Robbins. We have the likes of Eric Worre. These are people who, when I got connected to my first business, the leaders told me to follow. And they were pumping a lot of things in my mind. If you don't have a lot of things in your mind, you can't even run one business. You can't even run one business. So if you want to build a long-term business, learn to sit down and develop yourself personally. Have virtual mentors and have physical mentors who you can approach, who will be willing to share their stories with you. Please, if you are following and then you have any question, you can type in the chat platform so that I can look at them and give you my views on that as well. Sorry. Okay, so moving forward, when as I was saying, if you want to build multiple streams of income, get one business, build it well. Note that if the other business you start is not even bringing in money, you can depend on that income. You can depend on that income to run the business, to support the business, and to support yourself. A lot of people start businesses and the business collapse. Why? Because when they start the business, they put in all their capitals in it. They don't have other business they have built, or they don't have a job that is paying them quite well, which can sustain them. So they become frustrated and they have to close down the businesses. Through my first business, I was able to enter into farming. I got inspiration from people and I was able to enter into farming. Currently, as I'm speaking, I'm into piggery. I'm into rabbit farming. I'm doing a lot of coconut farming. And then I'm going to expand this project into poultry farming as well. I paused on that project because of the poultry diseases that break up recently. So the structure is being made and I've paused on it. And I want to do this so that once I'm doing this, I can have another source of income running. Now, one thing I've learned is that because I've built a system, because I've built a business that is supporting me with income, now I was able to relax to start a second business that was the farming, to enter into farming. So whether the farming pays me within my first 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, I don't really care about it. I'm putting structures, I'm learning on the job, but I have my first business taking care of me. And that was what held me in my first year in my farming. Currently, I'm doing 2.5 years in the farming now. And then it's been an exciting journey. I've not read agric in tertiary. I don't have any knowledge in farming. Actually, let me share one of the things I fear most. I fear feathers. So I fear chicken, fowl, those things. But I'm into animal farming. Why? Because I read into it. We are in a global village now, and whatever you want to go in, there's so much information online. There's so many people there who are willing to guide you through. So I'm into farming. I didn't have any knowledge before entering, but right now, if you ask me anything about piggery, anything about rabbit farming, anything about fish farming, anything about coconut farming, I'll be able to give you on the job advice on it because I've learned through it. So some of us, when we are scared to enter into these things because we feel that we did not learn them in tertiary, we did not learn them in anywhere, and that's why a lot of people who are working, who have their jobs, are kind of scared when it comes to doing any other business. They prefer relying on their single source of income. And this COVID era showed us that living on one source of income is very dangerous. I remember I spoke with some bankers earlier on when I started my first business, and they were telling me that, well, they don't have enough time for themselves. They close late, and when they close, when they go home, they are very tired. Some of them even told me that they feel shy to post some of the things I was doing on their status because they have a certain class of people who want their status and stuff. But though they were not willing to do it, I move on. But it pains my heart because about 4 of these people lost their job during the COVID era. And some of them too lost their job when the Bank of Ghana brought out some of the banking restrictions. And at that same time, colleague bankers who were also with them, some of them who have started businesses, they were comfortable. I know a mechanical engineer friend who was fired during the COVID era, and he was excited because he wanted a way to even tell his boss that he wanted to quit. But because the company was so nice to him, it's a lady, because the company was so nice to her, she did not know the right way to tell them. But so when the COVID era came in, they were cutting down on their staff and they cut him down. She was very excited, and her colleagues were crying, sad. Why? She has started something. Sometimes you don't have to wait to become tasty before you dig your well. You have to dig your well whilst you are having so much water behind. Because when you are digging the well and you are tired, you will be able to take some of the water that you have behind you to drink. But when you wait so long and the little water you have dries up and you decide to dig your well, you become desperate. Because when you are tired, there will be no water for you to take. I believe you get what I'm trying to say. So it's very important we build businesses, not because we are poor or broke, but because there is a need for us to do so. So, Mark, I will be pausing here a bit, but before I pause here, I'll give I'll share something small with you before we pause here. I want you to know that what you do after you close from work is going to have a great impact on how your life is going to be after retirement. What you do after you close from work is going to have a greater impact on how your life will be after retirement. I've had a chance to speak with people who have fought 5 years and have retired from active services, and now they're living their dream life. And I've had a chance to also speak with people who, because of something, they were laid off from their work. They were killing themselves for their companies, and now they are in a very deep mess. So I want to inspire you. You might not know what to do now, but I can tell you on a fact that if only you decide that you want to build a business, that you want to do something along the way, alongside whatever you are doing, you'll be able to do it, because there are a lot of mentors, there are a lot of coaches. Don't be worried about capital that you need to start businesses. I started my first business on minimum of 700 cedis. Yes, minimum of 700 cedis. That was how much I started. That was the amount I started on my first business. Whatever I have now is from that business. Whatever I have now. And what do I have? Within my short period from 2017 till now, I was able to rent my first apartment when I was at the age of 24 years. And it was all thanks to this business. I was able to support some of my siblings when they were in deep financial issues and they needed money to sort certain things. I was able to support some family staffs, and this thing did not break me down. And at the age of 27, I was able to buy my first car, 2.4 liter car. Some friends were telling me, Brian, why don't you get a 700 liter 1.8? I said, Charlie, this is a car I want to use before I buy my dream car. And I bought it, paid for it, cash down, and I'm taking it. And I feel proud anytime I sit in this car. If not for anything, those friends who were so negative to me, those friends who were telling me I should relax. Where am I speeding to? Those friends who were busy chatting with their colleagues after work, those friends who were busy giving excuses, which I was not willing to join. Now, when they see me, they are so proud of me. And I know that I've not gotten to where I want to be in the nearest future, but I can boldly say that I'm far away from the bottom now. And because of great mentors and people I'm looking up to, I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to push forward. So if you are not taking anything from what I'm saying, remember that you don't need to have so much money before you start something. You just need to find yourself within a circle of people who will be willing to guide you. And you yourself need to be willing. You yourself need to have a goal. You yourself need to have a dream. If you don't really know where you want to be, if you don't really fancy things that are going to make you provide the best life for your family, if you don't really fancy things that are going to make you sit back in the nearest future and say to yourself that the life you are living now is a life you chose for yourself, but not a life that you have to settle for, then you will be willing to learn to go all out to build systems for yourself. You can do it. If I can do it from a background whereby I did not really thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. I was only focused on getting employment and being paid a salary, and then knowing that I have a title that I'm working here. But later on, after service, I don't even remember the last time I wrote an application letter to seek for employment, not because I feel so big, but I believe that my eyes have been opened that entrepreneurs are the movers and shakers of our world now. And as anybody, regardless of your status, if you decide to become an entrepreneur, you become part of the decision makers, people who make decisions for all of us now. So I will inspire you, go all out, seek mentorship, get closer to the likes of Max. Anytime you see Max sharing things on his status, I feel inspired. This man is selling everything in the world. Everything in the world. You see Max sharing on his status. Every time he's organizing trainings like this to share with us. And if you happen to chance on this meeting, I will tell you that quickly subscribe to the Build with Max channel, because there's so many content. Sometimes I can sit back, I go there, and some of the things I'm sharing with you are some things I've built because I was able to learn from some great mentors that Mark have happened to have training sessions with. And all the things that I share with you are things that are going a long way, that will go a long way to build you up to make some great income for yourself. So Mark, I'll pause here and for you to come in. And if there's any other thing you want me to talk on, I will bring it in. Thank you.
Fire, a lot of fire, a lot of fire, a lot of fire, a lot of fire shared here. And everything he's talking about, everything he's discussing, you can feel the passion in his heart. You can see where he's coming from. You can see the point he's coming from. So if you are here on this live, or if you are watching it on the replay, I want you to drop in the comment section value. And I want you to drop the value you have picked so far from what he has talked about. We are going to get deeper, but here is my take home today. And I'm picking a lot of things from what Bright is sharing with us today. One of the main things I've picked today is that you need to have mentors. And I'm adding one thing to the mentors. You need to have mentors and accountability partners who have already been on that path, who have already been on that journey. People who have already set out on that journey and they have achieved some significant success. You need people who have the examples to show. You need people who have the scars to show. You need people who you can bounce. So accountability partners are people that you will bounce your ideas over. So people you meet up, you discuss ideas with, who are able to give you some kind of input into your ideas. They are able to help you shape it. They are like your colleagues. They are like your level. And the mentors are people who are above you, people you look up to, people who will inspire you because of what they are doing and how far they have gone. So one of the first points he has given us is you need to have mentors, and I've added accountability partners. And if you are watching us, and I want you to jot this now, it's important for you to write it down, because at the end of the day, we want you to be able to apply everything we are learning here. So that's one. You need it to consider multiple streams of income. Point number 2, he says that start by focusing on one source first. And I want to bust a myth that is going around. Some entrepreneurs are making it look like having a job is not good. Like having a job is a disease. Like having a job is a taboo. Trust me, you need to have some solid source of income. And you can hear it when he started, he spoke about it, that he needed to secure a source of income and then build the other sources of income from that one source. And that's the second point he made. You need to first of all start with one. You need to first of all focus on one. So if it's your job, make sure you are working harder. Make sure you are working harder to have that secured and consistent and constant source of income coming in. Then you can consider and look at other options. I'm waiting for your comments. Drop in the comment section the value you are having. Just write it in the comment section right now. Anything you are picking up from this training today, just write it in the comment section. That's the second point. The third point I pick up today has to do with you shutting all distractions. He said that sometimes there can be so many things on your mind. Sometimes there can be too many things on your mind, and those too many things are coming together, and those become distractions. Sometimes you are focusing on too many other things. You are looking at too many other holes, and so you are distracted. So it is important for you to shut all distractions. Focus on one thing. Focus on gaining mastery. Focus on reaching mastery in that which you have decided to start with. Then you can look into other things. And Bright, your life is inspiring me so much. I know you started your first business, you said about 2017 or so. And now you are into piggery, you are into rabbit, you are into coconut, and soon you want to get into poultry farming. How did you do this? That is my first question to you. How were you able to do this? We'll come back for you to answer this question. How were you able to do this? Now, my third lesson that I have picked up today has to do with don't be worried about capital. And most of the time, that is where we have the major problem. So if you have been like that before, write in the comments, I. You just write I. Then we know that you've been like that. You've wanted to start something. You want to get into a second source of income. You want to get into another business. You want to try out something, but you are worried about the capital. You are going about thinking that you don't have money and all of that. And then the last thing I pick up today is that you need to be willing. You need to be willing. So 5 things I have picked up today. You need to have mentors and accountability partners who have already been on that journey, people who have the examples, people who have the scars to show, people who are on the field, who have other streams of income, and the benefits and the results they are gaining from this, they are able to share with you from time to time, and you pick lessons from it. You need to start by focusing on one source of income first. So if you are on this call, you're on this training, and you are struggling to make things work, you are trying to consider other sources of income, work hard on the one source you have first. Make sure that that is consistent. Make sure that that is working well for you. Then you can add other sources to it. 3, you need to focus on something and shut out all distractions. It's time to take out things that distract you, things that are not in line with where you want to go, what you want to achieve, things that will not contribute directly to what you want to achieve within the next 6 months, within the next 3 months. It's time to take them all out and focus on what you want to achieve and be consistent with it. Point number 4, don't be worried about capital. Yes, capital is important. Money is very, very important for you to start. But in beginning any business at all, money is not the first thing. You need the knowledge. You need to find somebody who knows how to do it. You need to find accountability partners who will discuss your idea with you and try to fine-tune the idea into a business that can be viable. It is very important. Then you can think about the other resources that you will need. Then point number 5, you need to be willing to make it happen. I made a post yesterday that a lot of the times people procrastinate a lot because we are not sold out to our dreams. We are not sold out to our goals. And that is very true. And that's what Bright is talking about today. We need to be willing to make it happen. You need to understand that you cannot survive on just one source of income. It is not possible. You look at how much you earn, try and put down all your expenditure at the end of the month and look and think whether how much you are earning matches your expenditure. So you cannot survive on just one income. It is time to consider other sources of income, but work on one, make it work. Let's bring Boss Bright back. So let's get into the questions. If you have a question, oh yes, I can see the I. So having a mentor is always a factor. Thanks. And this is my mother, my biological mother here. She's joined us. Thank you very much. So having a mentor is very, so my first question was, right, how did you do this? So now you are managing piggery, rabbitry, and then coconut, and you are soon adding poultry. In addition to the first business you started, how did you do it? Your microphone is off, please.
Okay. So, Mark, the whole thing is from the dreams and aspirations you have.
Okay.
When I realized my first business was picking up, thankfully I was able to build a global team. Currently, I'm building teams in about 19 different countries, whereby these are people I've not really met personally, but thanks to social media, I was able to connect with them, and that's how the world is going to. I started realizing that I was making some good income, and then I'm somebody who always like to look at people who are doing well, and then when I look at them, I look at the things that are doing right, and when I look at the things that are doing right, and I ask myself, can I also do it? So I went online and I was looking at businesses that are doing well. And I realized that in Ghana, most young people are scared of farming. But I realized that a lot of people are making some good income in that system, but it is capital intensive. if you decide to play it small, it's going to be very difficult for you to do well in that sector. And as I said earlier on, because you need to build a first source of income, I had already started building a first source of income, and it has started picking up. And I realized that farming was good. So I went to look for a plot of land somewhere, and then I was looking at the things I could do. I was looking at various things. I wanted to start with the poultry, but I realized these dealing with these chicken and stuff, they're kind of complicated. And a little mistake you make, there's going to be a disease outbreak. But I realized these, in quotes, pigs, they kind of able to resist certain conditions. And so I decided to go into farming, looking at the projections. I realized that if only I can go there and be willing to learn from people who are doing well, I can excel. So I went to just so there's this piggery along the line, and when I went there, I met a teacher who was into this business together with his brother, who is a medical doctor. So I said, well, I think the thing, people have really seen the vision. People who are already doing well are into it. So that even inspired me the most to be with them, to pick the experiences, and they have been really helpful. I didn't know anything about the whole thing. I only learned the things on YouTube, I read some from Google, and I got personal mentors in the field. And I'm able, and that was how I was able to build my business. Currently, we are having about 70 pigs in the farm, and then they are doing well.
Wow.
The rabbit is doing well. We are also into fish farming. We have 5 big ponds. Then the coconut too is picking up. I know over time, though it's capital intensive, but thanks to the first source, things are getting well. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. You have 70. How many pigs did you begin with, please? What was the first number of pigs you began with?
That was, I think we began with four of the females, and then one male. No, I think we began with 4, but we made them cross the 4 females.
Okay.
We didn't buy a male, and then
when
we brought in a male after they started increasing. Yeah.
Awesome. This is an awesome thing I'm hearing from you. It's amazing. And you said you do fishing also. I want to everybody that is on this call, I want to introduce you to 2 forms of farming that if you don't have a land, if you are worried about space, you are worried about land and all of that. He also mentioned that it is very capital intensive that you can do. I've seen people do from the comfort of their homes. 2 of them. One of them is snail farming. The second is mushroom farming. And you can look into it. I remember a couple of weeks ago, Ekuya Sefako, one of the trainers, was here talking about so many businesses he's been part of, so many businesses he's running. And one of the things I know she does well is the snail farming. You can contact me for her number so that she can show you how to do this. Snail farming and mushroom farming is something that you can do just at your backyard, just in your house. And I know of another company that is doing so well, helping people in snail farming. Try Solace Farms. You can search them on Instagram, you can search them on YouTube, you can search them on Facebook. Try Solace Farms, and they are into snail farming, and you can do it in the comfort of your home. They take you through the training on the process and all of that, and you realize that they have available markets as well. So when your snail hatches and everything is ripe, they get back into contact with you and they buy from you. And I think that is one of the businesses we can consider. So, Boss Bright, I have a second question. In dealing with a lot of people, I know that you've dealt with a lot of people, individuals. I know that you've dealt with a lot of groups and all of that. In dealing with your team specifically, what do you think is the one reason why people do not venture into other sources of income? Even though we know that we need it, even though we know that we are struggling with just the one source of income and we need the other source, why is it that people are not getting into it? And as we do the Q&A, please drop your questions in the comment section and let's start addressing them. Boss Bright.
Thank you for the question, Mark. It's simple. That takes me to what I will talk about now, which is the difference between investments and business. Most people are scared of business because they feel all the responsibilities will be on them. If they lose money, all the responsibilities will be on them. So most people who have not started businesses are always quick to go into investments. And some of them, because they want so much money, but they don't want to build business because of the struggles they believe they might go in the early stages. At the end of the day, most of them loses some good income through the investments they go in. Some too, they go into some investments where they make so much lower than how much they could have turned that money around in a genuine business, and then later on invest the money to make some good income. So if you happen to be on the call, I want you to know that investment is different from business. Most workers do not have business, but they have investment. That is putting their money to a bank for somebody to use to work for them. You either earn something small or you lose your money. But it's good to invest when you have businesses that you are building, which is generating profit for you. Then pick some of the profit. Whilst you are investing some in your business, invest some of your profit into other investments. And I do that. I do compound interest accounts. I run compound interest accounts. But those monies, they are coming from my business. The money I can turn around and make profit on, I won't pick all those money and go and put it in a bank account. I was speaking with one teacher who came for financial advice, and he told me that, as for him there, he goes to collect loan from bank, maybe for 60,000, 70,000, then he'll go and leave it in an investment account, and then the bank will be deducting the loan from his salary because he can't do business together that 50,000, 70,000. And I look at this gentleman and say, well, you are doing that because you are scared to put that money into a good business. We shouldn't be quick to start business though, but trust you me, with the likes of great mentors out there, you can turn around 40,000, 20,000 into a good business venture whereby you can be making some savings from that to invest in that investment you want to do. So I think the major factor is people are scared that they will lose money. So they want an easy way. They don't do business, but they prefer investing. Yeah.
That's very true. The major factor is that we are scared of losing money, and everybody is scared of losing money. That is why you need mentors. That is why you need accountability partners. It is very, very important. You need mentors who know the field. And you've added one more thing to starting another business. You have added investment. And investment is another way of adding to your source of income. And you have clarified it by saying that you put the money into the business, then you take the profits that is coming from the business and you put it into the investments. Wow, that's very, very good. That's very, very good. Now, how do you identify mentors?
Great.
How do you identify mentors? How do you know that this person can really help me on that journey? How do you identify them?
Okay, so it's very simple. If you want to be a pilot, you don't go to a taxi driver to seek advice from. If you want to be a pastor, you don't go to a fetish priest to seek advice from. If you want to be wealthy, identify somebody who is wealthy. If you are godly, find a understand you want them to mentor you. One thing about mentors is that they will not come to you that they want to mentor you. You will have to go to them. And when you go to them, you must be somebody who must be willing to serve. A lot of us, we call people, oh, this is my mentor, this is my mentor, this is my mentor, but you don't have personal contact with them. So the learning that you are learning, it becomes minimum. If you really want somebody to mentor you personally, real hard, and you have access to live closer to them, find a way whereby you can be a person of value to that person. And to be a person of value to that person, know that you can do that by simply serving. Either holding their bags when you get to meet at a program, either if only you can wash their car, if only you can iron, Like, find a way to save. Even if you are not closer to them, even if it is credit, sometimes they don't need your money, but you can get them some data packages. Oh, boss, I want you to take this data package. I'll be worrying you for tutorial. Find a way to be a person of value. And when they become so close to you, they will give you extra fee. So identify them and find ways to be so close to them. Yeah.
Identify them and find ways to be close to them. And I like what you said. You see, most people do not think relationally. Most people are not relational thinkers. They only think about the now. What can I get from people now? But if you are thinking posterity, and if you are thinking about having a lot of value from mentors in the long term, you need to think about what you are also bringing to the table, what you are also offering. And sometimes you realize that there's something you can offer. There's something you can give back to the mentor that would always encourage the person to be always pouring into you. And some mentors actually do introduce business ideas to us.
Very true.
And sometimes some of these things, until you start it, so everybody, you need a mentor. You need somebody that you would always be bouncing your ideas over, accountability partners. And you realize that as business ideas and opportunities come, you realize that they'll be sharing it with you. It's been amazing. It's been awesome having you here, Boss Bright. I want you to give us your last words, your last take homes, and any business idea you think that we can consider moving on from today. What business idea you think we can consider if somebody wants to start another business? So I work 8 to 5, 8 to 4, 9 to 5. And all I have is the time after my work schedule, or maybe the weekends on Saturdays. How do I run another business? How do I run a second source of income to make money?
Okay, great. So it's been a privilege to be on this great platform, and it's been an honor to. I know we have a lot of great personalities who are joining us on the live feed, and we have great personalities just like yourself who will also be watching the replay later on. My last word for you is to know that in selecting of your mentors, you need not to be driven by emotions. You need to go for the right person who can take you to the next level. I'm very religious. Actually, I happen to be the keyboardist for my church. If I'm not there on a Sunday at Semaba, I'm very religious. But I can boldly tell you that if your pastor is not business-minded, don't discuss your businesses with him. Why? If somebody is not in a certain field, don't discuss with him. If your daddy, if your mother is not business inclined, don't ask him, Daddy, Mommy, I want to do this business. Should I go and do it? Always find the right person to take the right advice from. In my first business, I had my close aligned to me, close people telling me not to go into it. A lot of people discouraged me. Even when I started, my dad, my mom, sometimes they'll call you, do you think what you're doing is right? Why don't you do this? Why don't you bring your application letter? Want to go and see this man? Want to go here? Want to go there? But I was fortunate to be connected with people who were already doing well in that field. And I was listening. I was glued to the advice. And now all these people who were scared about me, it's not like they don't like you. They like you, but they're scared that you fail. Now all these people, because I didn't really take the advice, but listening to the one who was doing well, who I wanted to be like, now they're all proud of me. So sometimes I was all sworden kakra. So if you are not a little stubborn, a lot of people will channel the advices to you. And before you realize, you won't be living up to your full potential. Now, my second takeaway I will leave with you is that be somebody who loves personal development. If you'll be able to build a lot of businesses, if you'll be able to enter into multiple streams of income, you need to be a person of value. You need to be a person of value, just like the palm nut tree. If you become a person of value, you don't really struggle to bring out business ideas. People can even come and speak to you and you'll be making money from it. You just be there, the ideas will come, and because you're a person of value, you know how to handle it. You get to understand that things can be done because you have developed yourself. Also, if you're looking at becoming adding an extra stream of income, you don't necessarily have to be the business owner. You can go into partnership. Some of us, we really want to own everything for ourselves. And when you do that, sometimes you might not be ever ready to start because maybe the capital you need to start might be huge. So I also advise, find friends, colleagues with ideas. You might have a friend who has a brilliant idea. You analyze it, it's good. If you have capital to partner with a friend, partner. Partnership is a great way to build an extra source of income. I was listening to one multimillionaire and he said it's always good to earn 10% from a business you put in an effort of 20% than to earn 100% from a business you put in 100%. You might not understand. Now you might be thinking, oh, I'm earning 100%. Why are you telling me that you earning 20% is good? It's all about effort. If I put in 100% on your job to earn all your salary, which is 10,000 Ghana cedis a month, and I'm putting in 20% in a business, and I'm earning 3,000, remember that I have other 80% of my energy or time to earn extra income to add to it. Keep that in mind. It's very important. My last word I'll share with you is that note that everything is possible. If you think you don't need money now, ask yourself right now, if you get a call right now that somebody you truly love is in a health issue, health crisis, the person needs 150,000 Ghana cedis for a surgery, how much can you offer to that loved one? If you get a call that your son, your daughter, your mother, your father is sick and he needs 70,000 today for a surgery, will you just cry and pray, or you pray and remove cash to support? If you are not at that level now, then regardless of how busy you are, you still need to find a way to do something extra. Don't let your work dictate to you. I've spoken to several bankers and they'll tell me that in the banking policies, when you are with a bank, you can't do any other business. And I smile. Your CEO is owning other businesses. It doesn't mean that send your business to the banking hall and let everybody know I'm a banker. Me too, I'm doing this in the banking hall. But when you close from your work, find a way to do something in your privacy. Because when it's time for them to lay you off, or when there is time for you to go on retirement, you are going to realize that these people only limited you. Don't let anybody put a ceiling on how much you can earn. Go all out. If you believe that what they are doing, your spirit man cannot take it, start building something small. Before you realize, it will explode, and then you can put in your resignation letter. I also advise that if you're on the call, you can also check out my YouTube channel, which is Bright Inspires Generation, in short, BIGTV on YouTube. It's a new channel, and then there are going to be some of similar sessions like this. On the session, we'll be putting a little gist from time to time, and I know at the end of the day, we all can meet one day on Build with Max to share our exciting story. I also want to sit back and listen to your story someday on Build with Max. Thank you, Max, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Bright, for being with us today. It's been amazing learning from you. Ask yourself these questions. If I lose that one source of income I have today, what will I do? With the happening of Corona, with all of the things that have happened, thank you very much, Asantuan Ponsan. Wow. It's good to have you here. Asantua is on the call. Amazing. If you lose that one source of income that you have now, what will you do? Second question, if you have an emergency, something happens in your family, something happens to you in life, and you can no longer support yourself with that one source of income, what will you do? These are questions we ask ourselves. If something happens and that one source of income will not be able to enough take care of that particular emergency, what will you do? This is why it is very important for you to consider multiple streams of income. It is important for you to ask the right questions. He said about the mentors, when you meet and get the mentors, ask them the right questions. Ask them how they are doing it. Ask them how they did it. And ask them to introduce you to opportunities that you can do. But you need to, first of all, be somebody who is willing to make things happen for yourself. If you are watching on the live or if you are watching on the replay and you are not subscribed to this channel yet, I want you to just subscribe to the channel down below. You just subscribe. Hit on the subscribe button right now. And then if you have had a lot of value from this training, I want you to smash. You see a little like button on the YouTube. I want you to smash on the like button. And then you can share this because it's going to be here for the replay. You can share this link for other people to also come and pick up the lessons we have picked up today. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for staying here. You can come back anytime to watch this video again. You can come back anytime with your notes. So if you didn't have your note with you, just come back again, scroll through the parts where he shared the various points and pick up the points. Let's run with it. So we come your way again. Thank you very much. And it's been amazing having you on. It's amazing having Boss Bright discussing multiple streams of income and passive income with us. Your story is one interesting one, Bright. And I know that we're going to follow the story to the point where we hear your name in Times Magazine. We hear your name in New York Times.
Wow.
And Forbes will write your story one day. And it will be a story that we all can enjoy from. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to the training. It's been an executive breakfast meeting with you, and we are signing off now. Bye.